Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sean Fraser, MP, who is the immigration minister, the new immigration minister after Marco Mendicino, he held a session. And if I take you to his Twitter account, you would be able to see his very nice photo with a great ring light. I mean, I need to get that ring light as well for my YouTube. All right, so Minister Sean Fraser, he held this session. He also took some live calls. Well, live calls, all right? And this is what his Twitter account says. And they have also shared an infographic. But let me take you to their basic news release. Okay? And it was shared about a couple of hours ago. And you would be able to see a lot of information here, but I take you to this paragraph. Okay, so here they have actually mentioned that they have hired 500 new processing staff. Okay, and they are also digitizing applications. All right, so this is a great thing. um, but if I take you down here, yeah, this paragraph is very, 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 very important. Okay, so you will be able to see that IRCC made over 500,000 decisions on permanent resident applications in 2021. Okay, so like decisions were made on above 500,000 PR applications, but we know that they achieved the number of people arriving, landing in Canada, and getting a PR status activated was around 411,000, right? It could be a little less or it could be a little more depending on the numbers that they selected in the year, in the December of 2021. Okay, so that is still a great news that they successfully processed 500,000 applications. Okay, now these final decisions, they can include people whose PR applications were refused. I mean, it is not out of the equation right now. And some of these PR applications that were approved, they might land on a later date, because you know that COPR has an expiry date, the visa has an expiry date, and you can visit Canada, you can land in Canada before any time before that visa expires. Okay, so hoping that those PR applicants will land in the year 2021 2. And talking about 2022, this is an aggressive target that is set by the minister and obviously IRCC, that the first quarter of 2022 they are going to make 147,000 permanent residence final decisions in January, February, March. And we have seen a lot of PRs, like the PPRs, okay, passport requests, that is the final decision on your PR. We have seen a lot of PPRs, and things are moving in the right directions. And if I take you down here to the bullet points, okay, so they have mentioned that they invested additional $85 million. All right, and now they talk about the immigration, how crucial it is for the Canadian economy. All right, in the third point, they had their ambitious target of 401,000 in 2021, and they surpassed it, and they broke the record from 1913. And 2021 was the Canadian history making year for most newcomers, new immigrants, new PRs in a single calendar year. Okay, and this is also a very promising thing, that 62% of new PRs in 2021 were economic immigrants. Now, you would ask that FSW draws were on hold, then how these people were economic immigrants who actually got their PRs in 2021. So the answer would be obviously CEC big draw in Feb. That draw could be your answer. TR to PR pathway, those people were economic immigrants, but they were already in Canada, so you can do the maths. Okay, so then study permits, the number is also outstanding, that they say that in 2021 they finalized 560,000 study permit applications. Okay, and it is more than 32%. All right, so like the minister says, if you hear his live or rather the recorded session, you would be able to see that he actually mentioned that they were not like it was an unexpected thing post pandemic, right? So anyhow, then they are going to announce in February, uh, not really announced, but the PR processing timeline tool that is available on their website, that tool is going to be updated. That tool is going to be accurate in the month of February. That's what their infographic says. All right. So let me take you to their infographic because I want to share something that I feel is kind of a bad thing. Okay, let me see if I can actually increase zoom in here. Let me just see if I can actually do that. Not really. So I'm gonna do another thing. I'm going to download this image and then open up this image. Okay, apologies, I should have downloaded this image beforehand. Anyhow, opening it now. Okay, so this is a nice way of sharing what are your plans, like an infographic. Okay. So they talked about citizenship applications. Now these are the people who are PR who have spent 3 years in Canada and now they are applying for citizenship. Okay. So like citizenship is a different thing. You might not be interested in that right now. Now talking about PR. Okay. So they have mentioned type two types of PR application. One is family class application. The second is Canadian experience class applications. And they have promised that their service standard, that is 6 months for Canadian experience class as well as federal skilled workers. So they are going to meet their service standard for Canadian experience class, but unfortunately they have not mentioned federal skilled workers here, right? So I don't know what are their plans for federal skilled workers, but I reckon Canadian experience class, as I've said, that might start in February, March, all right? But it is my guesstimate, it is my anticipation, it is my hope, it is my prayer that FSW draws might resume in summer 2022 or in early fall 2022. Okay, this is my guesstimate. So based on this, they are still focused on Canadian experience class based on this infographic. They have not talked about the federal skilled workers. All right. So you can actually read that if you're a nerd like me. And I would also leave the link to their live session. All right. And you would be able to watch that video that is about 45 minutes long. So I basically took my time. I watched that video and then I came up with my version of that video. Okay, so with these words, this is Iftikhar, still hoping great things are coming your way.